The once tranquil streets of Willowbrook echoed with hushed conversations and fearful whispers. Neighbors exchanged furtive glances, their faces etched with worry and uncertainty. The news of the survivors' abilities had spread like wildfire, casting a chilling pall over the town. Dark rumors swirled through the community, carried on the wind like ghostly echoes. Tales of the afflicted individuals possessing inexplicable powers had gripped the imagination of the townsfolk, fueling fear and suspicion. Sarah, Thomas, Rebecca, and Mr. Johnson found themselves unwittingly cast as enigmas, regarded with a mix of awe and apprehension. They navigated the town streets cautiously, concealing their extraordinary abilities, knowing that discovery could mean persecution or worse. The once cherished sense of community now hung by a fragile thread, torn between curiosity and trepidation. The fear of the unknown loomed large, casting shadows upon friendships and sowing seeds of distrust among once trusted allies. Amidst the unsettling atmosphere, the survivors grappled not only with their newfound powers, but also with the growing sense of isolation. The once familiar faces now bore a veil of suspicion, and the streets that once echoed with laughter now whispered tales of unease and paranoia. Willowbrook, once a haven of tranquility, had transformed into a town gripped by fear and uncertainty. In the wake of the eerie epidemic, Willowbrook's once close-knit community fractured under the weight of suspicion and uncertainty. The streets that once saw lively gatherings now harbored isolated souls, their once trusted neighbors veiled in mistrust and doubt. Gone were the jovial exchanges and warm greetings. In their place lingered cautious glances and whispered speculations. The survivors, once integral members of the town, found themselves ostracized by a populace gripped by fear and suspicion. Sarah, Thomas, Rebecca, and Mr. Johnson, bearing the burden of their extraordinary abilities, felt the heavy weight of isolation pressing upon them. Their attempts to conceal their powers and blend in had only led to their inadvertent alienation from the community they once called home. Amidst this aura of distrust, friendships faltered and trust eroded. The once vibrant town square, a hub of communal activity, now stood as a testament to the rift that had torn through the heart of Willowbrook. The survivors grappled not only with their extraordinary abilities, but also with the profound loneliness that stemmed from being ostracized by the very community they sought to protect. As suspicion mounted and alliances dissolved, the once unified town became a hotbed of division and apprehension, casting a dark shadow over the once thriving Willowbrook. As the mysterious affliction continued to wreak havoc, Willowbrook's townspeople found themselves trapped in a labyrinth of perplexity and fear. Each new case only deepened the shroud of uncertainty, intensifying the community's confusion and trepidation. New instances of the inexplicable abilities emerged sporadically, further challenging the already strained beliefs and norms. Sarah's ability to move objects with her mind, Thomas's telepathic connections, Rebecca's manipulation of colors, and Mr. Johnson's control over elements were no longer isolated incidents, but rather harbingers of an enigmatic epidemic that defied explanation. The townspeople grappled with the unexplainable, their once secure beliefs shattered by the unsettling manifestations witnessed in their community. Fear festered like a malignancy, with uncertainty breeding suspicion and mistrust among neighbors. Conversations in the market were laden with anxious speculation, and the air hummed with nervous energy. The local authorities struggled to contain the rising panic, attempting to provide rational explanations where none existed. The townspeople's confusion and trepidation intensified with each passing day, amplifying the collective unease that now permeated every corner of Willowbrook. The inexplicable abilities displayed by the afflicted individuals had become an ominous specter, casting a dark shadow over the once peaceful town, leaving its residents grappling with a profound sense of disquietude. In the wake of the bewildering epidemic, the local authorities found themselves thrust into a whirlwind of uncertainty, desperately seeking scientific explanations and potential remedies for the enigmatic affliction plaguing Willowbrook. Scientists and medical experts were summoned from neighboring towns, their laboratories now a hub of fervent activity. They meticulously studied the survivors' unusual abilities, poring over test results and conducting countless experiments in a fervent quest for understanding. The town hall buzzed with urgent discussions, where authorities brainstormed theories, debated potential causes, and discussed strategies for containment. Hope hung by a fragile thread, resting on the possibility of a scientific breakthrough that could offer solace to a town gripped by fear and uncertainty. Yet, amidst their tireless efforts, the scientists encountered a baffling reality. The inexplicable abilities seemed to defy conventional scientific explanation. The phenomenon surpassed the boundaries of conventional knowledge, leaving the experts at an impasse, their research yielding more questions than answers. As the authorities scrambled for solutions, the residents of Willowbrook clung to the hope that scientific inquiry would unravel the mystery and provide a cure, an antidote that would restore their town to its former tranquility. The pursuit of understanding became a beacon of hope in the midst of chaos, a glimmer that promised to dispel the shadows of the unexplained that had descended upon their once peaceful town. Despite tireless research and relentless scientific scrutiny, the veil of mysteries surrounding the illness plaguing Willowbrook remained firmly intact. Days stretched into weeks, and the once hopeful anticipation of a breakthrough dissolved into frustration and despair. The scientists' fervent efforts yielded meager results, leaving the authorities grasping at elusive threads of understanding. The inexplicable abilities continued to baffle even the most seasoned experts, defying conventional medical explanations and scientific reasoning. Speculations and theories ran rampant, with no solid ground on which to build a foundation of understanding. Was it a virus? A mutation? Or perhaps a response to an unknown environmental trigger? Every avenue of inquiry led to dead ends, leaving the residents of Willowbrook stranded in a sea of uncertainty. Desperation mounted within the town's populace as the once promising prospects of a scientific resolution dwindled into disillusionment. The relentless grip of the mysterious epidemic persisted, casting a shadow of fear and hopelessness over the town. The streets that once echoed with whispers of optimism and solution now bore the weight of unanswered questions, amplifying the collective frustration that loomed like an unshakable specter over Willowbrook. Each passing day deepened the enigma, pushing the town further into the impenetrable depths of the inexplicable illness and its elusive origins. As the days wore on without reprieve, Willowbrook found itself ensnared in a crescendo of confusion and fear. The epidemic, far from abating, surged with an alarming ferocity, spreading its tendrils deeper into the fabric of the town. Panic gripped the community as the illness manifested in more individuals, each exhibiting bizarre abilities before succumbing to the terrifying fate that awaited them. The once thriving streets now teemed with trepidation and desperation. Whispers of despair and terror echoed through the once vibrant town square, painting an eerie tapestry of uncertainty. Families huddled together in fear, their lives upended by the ominous shadow of the inexplicable epidemic. The local authorities, once hopeful of a resolution, found themselves overwhelmed by the rapid escalation of the crisis. Efforts to contain the spread proved futile, and the realization dawned that Willowbrook was locked in a battle against an adversary it couldn't comprehend. The townsfolk's anguish and bewilderment escalated to a fever pitch, the relentless spread of the illness plunging Willowbrook into a state of turmoil and dread. With every new case, the sense of impending doom hung heavier in the air, casting a pall over the once resilient town, now besieged by an invisible adversary that defied understanding.